Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel. Good to see you. I hope you are happy and keeping safe. My name is Karen Cheptobiret. You should be knowing that by now, and I'm happy to see you here today. So we'll be speaking about women of the Bible today, but before that, I want to show you something very interesting I have a notebook here that has an African print. If you need one or two or three or more of these, just feel free to reach me via my DMs on my social media handles or even in the comment section. I'll be sure to arrange how you can get your copy, and you will love it. It's a very beautiful notebook and everyone should have it. Anyway, moving fast to today's video. It was International Day of the Girl Child 8 days ago, and on October 11th. And today this week in my church was a women ministry Sabbath. So I thought I should speak about something about women. And I thought of speaking about women in the Bible who inspire me, who teach me amazing things, and I hope you'd like it. Tell me, who is your favorite woman character in the Bible? I'll be sure to speak about them in the next video. The first woman I want to speak about is Deborah. And I thought about speaking of women in the Bible because women are amazing people. And going back, before we speak about Deborah and the rest, when Jesus came, he interacted with women. And this was seen as something that is very wrong and something that is diabolical, if I use that. Women were considered to be in the same category as slaves and dogs, and they had no moral authority to speak before men. And it was really bad because even someone who, if you give birth to a girl child, it was almost considered a curse. So when Jesus came and interacted with women, it really demystified a lot of misconceptions about women, and it broke that gender barrier that was existing between men and women. And Jesus showed that women can be equally represented, can be equally good, can be represented like men, they can speak like men, they can do what men are doing. And so when Jesus did that, it even eased the load that women were carrying in terms of the curses and all that. Even you can think about the time when the adulterous woman was brought to Jesus. She was brought to Jesus alone. Like, no man was brought before Jesus for committing adultery. So you can see the amount of stereotype that was existing at that time. And then another thing is that women played a very important role in the genealogy of Jesus Christ, dating back to the days of Adam and Eve. That's how far it dates for the genealogy of Jesus Christ. All these women in the middle played a part into the existence of Jesus Christ. So it was very timely and it was a blessing, and all these women played a very important part. Another thing about women in the Bible, they were role models. The women did amazing in mentoring their fellow women. Someone like Deborah, people like Esther, people like Tabitha, you see, all these people were admired women in the society, and they were really loved and adored and cherished by the women back then and the whole community back then. And we see that they were role models in their time, and they are role models in our time, and they will remain role models in the future. This applies to both men and women because men and women both draw inspiration from amazing women like the ones in the Bible. So the first woman I want to speak about is Deborah. Deborah was a prophetess of Israel. Not only was she a prophetess, she was also a judge of Israel. And that's not something laughable. It is something that is big. She was the first and only judge of Israel. Tried to presume that she was a no-nonsense woman, and she was always standing on her word. And you can check the commentary description of the type of woman Deborah was. And she's really one of my mentors, and she's my inspiration. One of the women in the Bible, I really love reading her story over and over again. So she she summoned Barak to go and attack a Canaanite community that was coming to fight Israel, and she prophesied that a woman would deliver Israel from the Canaanites. If you're a Bible student, you already know who the woman is, the woman who delivered Israel out of the Canaanites, like the woman who fought and killed the soldier. That's the next woman we're speaking about. So for my non-Christian friends, please don't worry. You will catch up as we move forward, but all this information is very available. I'll try as much as possible to break it down for you. So Deborah, I think that's it basically. By and large, that's what she did. She was a prophetess and she was also a judge, and for that she's a respectable woman. The second woman is not a very famous woman because she's not mentioned very many times, and neither is she mentioned even for long, you know, like all these other women. You know, women like Esther have a whole Bible book about them, but this woman has only like a verse or two verses that speak about what she did, and that's it. So this woman is called Jael. Jael is the woman who killed Israel's enemy, and she's the woman who Deborah was prophesying about. So Jael ideally killed a man called Sisera, who was the leader of the Canaanite community that was coming to attack Israel. This woman is such a brave woman. You know, I was checking her story and I was just like, girl, who does that? Guess what this woman did? So that Sisera guy went to Jael's house to seek refuge. So he ran to her house, and while he was there, Jael received him very well, but she knew he is an enemy. So when he came in, Jael gave him milk. He took the milk and slept. He should have been exhausted or wounded or something. I'm not very sure about that. You can tell me in the comment section. So while he was sleeping, thinking he's safe and peaceful, guess what this woman does? She takes a tent pole. I'm trying to imagine that's something metallic or something that is very hard. So she took it and used it to kill that man while he was sleeping, mark you. And he died. And once he died, now that he was the leader of the enemy community, it signified a win for Israel. And that is when the prophecy of Deborah was fulfilled, that a woman would liberate Israel from the Canaanites. And that woman was Jael. So I hope you learned something new, or if you knew that, perfectly fine. Now we move to the third woman. I don't want this to be a very long video, but the third woman is Queen Esther. We all know Queen Esther and we all love her. She's the kind of woman who had like beauty with brains. She was a very beautiful queen, and she was an Israelite, but she hid her identity for a while before exposing who she was to the king when she went to see him unannounced. You know, their history is quite funny, because why won't the queen go to the king without announcing? I don't know. Anyway, those are people's cultures and they have to be respected just as they are. So Queen Esther was the queen of Persia, and she took over from Queen Vashti, whose story is very interesting as well. I'll tell you about Queen Vashti in the next video. So Queen Esther is a symbol of resilience and strength, because she delivered the entire Israel by just speaking to the king. She mastered the confidence and went to face the king without any invitation or without any notice to the king, which was against the orders of that time. So she's an excellent woman. I hope you pray, and I hope you will be like Queen Esther at some point. So the fourth woman is Miriam. Miriam was a singer, and she was a leader, and she was the sister of Moses and Aaron, if you remember. And she used to remind the people of Israel to appreciate the blessings that God has given them. Even you see the songs composed by Miriam are songs of praise, to thank God of the glory they have gathered from whatever they were doing. If they were conquering the Canaanites, Miriam would always compose a thanksgiving song. So she's an example of woman who teaches us gratitude and who teaches us to give all glory back to God, regardless of the situation. Yeah, we move to the next woman, and this is a woman I particularly love, and she's in the New Testament. Her name is Hannah. So Hannah is a very interesting character, and I hope to have the faith of this woman. She was barren, and she didn't have children for a very long time. So she went to the Lord in prayer, and she prayed very diligently, day in, day out. She was very fervently praying about this situation to God. She really wanted a child, and she promised God that if God gave him a son, that child would go and work in the temple for God. And that is exactly what she did when Samuel was born. Did I say New Testament? Sorry, it's in the Old Testament. So when Samuel was born, she gave the child to priest Eli, and Samuel worked in the temple. That's a classic example of a woman who prayed, and prayers are answered. God answers prayers. From this woman, we learn that we can take our supplications to God, however heavy, however complicated, however strange, however impossible they look. God will always find a way to bless us and to give us what our heart desires. And that happens in all spheres of your life. Whatever you need, if you need, I don't know what you need, but if you need whatever thing and you speak about it to God, God will give it to you regardless of what the world thinks. Yes, God is a protocol breaker. God is a God of, he's just an excellent God. You should try him. Yeah, so I think that's all the women I had to share with you today. I'll come back with part 2 of women I love and women we need to emulate in the Bible. So please be sure to hit the subscribe button and come back for amazing videos. Yeah, so please women, as you go ahead with your life, please practice leadership skills. All these women were leaders in their own spaces. Be a leader start with yourself. Once you lead yourself well, you will be able to lead everyone else well. So I'm rooting for you. I hope you go out there and be an excellent woman, be an excellent man, because that is who God created you to be. Yeah, so thank you for watching to the very last minute. I truly appreciate your time, and may God bless you. Remember to send me a DM and tell me about this notebook. I'll surely get one for you. We have so many other African prints, and you will get whatever you want.